Hello everyone, Kurt over here, and welcome back to another episode from Hofer Labs. Today we're going to be talking about, finally, the counter to all of the Fifth Master's plays. Now, I want to make sure that this is understood that when I say the counter to all the Fifth Master plays, I am talking about the entry of origin right here. So essentially, anything that comes off of that, we have to rely on the rest of our training, the rest of the Abrazare and all the dagger positions we've done thus far to see what happens afterwards. But right now we're looking at about what happens when someone seizes our hands as we grab them and works to destroy or disrupt this arm. We're going to look at some of the things in there in regards to what are the dangers of this counter, what are the possibilities of this counter, and what are some things that we may not be considering with this counter. And with that being the case here, let's go take a look. This week we're finally getting to the remedy of what we see within Fiore's manuscript for and within the Getty for the Fifth Master Dagger, okay? And it is very simple. It's got a line in there about how you can use this right here. The more pronounced the slope is, or the bend in the elbow, if you will. That's how I see it, and it's also based off of the book I'm looking at right here as well. What we're getting off of this is we are seeing how we can get into performing other remedies against other masters. What I think that really entails right here is it's creating an opportunity which means that basically the shapes that they're making are ineffective, but they're bent, which allows me access to get in on something, okay? So the image of this right here is very simple right here, but it's also very nasty and very effective. So the image we see here is this. Off of this right here, I'm going to stand, come a little bit closer. I've got hold of Mr. Connor right here, and the guy's coming up, he's got his right there, and he's coming up on the other side. What Fiore is talking about here, as far as the counter, what I think he is saying here is, what I'm doing here, instead of doing this, which gives him access to my shoulder, is I'm putting my elbow out, okay? I'm putting my elbow out here to really stop this arm, right? So if he does a slam against the arm, like it's not doing anything right here, right? So again, like if he starts pushing up and tries to push me up and over, I am utilizing my pectoral muscles, everything else. If my arm was like this, and he tries to come up underneath this right here, and I try to resist this, it's harder because my arm is down and I'm using this. If my arm is out and I'm using, again, almost like a bicep curl, like this on somebody, I can control this. It doesn't mean that my elbow is not fair game. Please understand that. It just means right now we're talking about contending against the first thing within Fifth Master Dagger, which is that potential slam or however that goes. So in this case right here, I'm in this area here. Ultimately, as soon as he grabs up with this right here, dead to rights. So he can try to push me. He's really right pushing on here. That's fine. Dead to rights. Sultani line. Pushes into me. Dead to rights. Right? High slam. Like try to slam on this. Dead to rights. He comes upwards with it. Dead to rights. He pushes up with this. With my dagger this way. Dead to rights. He comes down with this. Dead to rights. So the point being right here is essentially if you're grabbing on, I think that might be his lesson in this, is if you have to go down this road, if you grab the person, there's a moment where you go from post to longa that you've got to start bringing in the arm here to really get a good slope, which I think is that elbow in this shape. In turn, if I'm like this and I have my arm right here and he grabs on with one hand and he starts coming in with this, I also, if my arm is straight like this, I don't have a slope to work with because he's very straight with me. But if I'm like this, which you can't tell here, let's give a slight turn. This is my angle. My arm's out. If my arm is straight, arm is tight, I can't do anything here. It's very, very limited right here. This may not be the best angle. If you're working with somebody, try this out. But if I push the elbow out, you might see here that the arm flares. Let's go a little bit closer. Take a knee. So he grabs, we're going to go face like this. So my arm is straight. There's really no way to go, right? But the moment I start pushing outwards with this, I shift his arm outward with this, which creates this slope in here on his own arm. So the more pronounced my slope, the more I have access right here. And now we're going to start talking about some remedies. From that position, so remember, this could still be holstered. I'm right here. I haven't thought, I grabbed on him, he grabs into my elbow. So I don't even have my dagger out yet. Drawing the dagger in this case is actually more of a detriment because the reality is the moment I start pulling this, if he really wants to start, this is where he can start working off of that. Pushes up higher with the elbow off this. I'm keeping this right here. I pop up, but now you got control. He's up. He may push up on the elbow, same thing right here. And as soon as he starts pushing up on the elbow, turning me out this way, I pop up the dagger. Now I'm still turned outward this way. So as I pop up this dagger right here, this arm has got access. All he has to do is shoot forward this, and now he's got a covering mechanism, right? So understand that's the other part that kind of comes with this. We're breaking this down to see how this may or may not work. So instead of going for the dagger, as he starts pushing at me right here, I'm bent, the arm bent. Maybe I let go of this and I start working into my own thing as far as ligadura goes. So I'm in this position right here. I bend the arm. He starts pushing on me right here. All I have to do is let go, push him, push, and now I'm in. Now, I'm right there in the spot. I know you don't draw this way, but ideally, same kind of concept. Okay? So whether this is out or not, I grab, I see he grabs on my, as soon as he grabs on my wrist, pronounce the elbow. As soon as he does this right here and tries to do anything off of this, I can draw my dagger if I don't have it out. But the reality is, as he's trying to push me upwards, with this, let go, shoot, and lock into that. If this is holstered, maybe he's bigger. I mean, he is kind of bigger, you know. I'm here like this right here. Again, he grabs on, I bend the elbow, he pushes up with this. So I don't like this at all. So I grab in here to give myself the ability to go in here, and I utilize first master plays. Maybe I don't, maybe in this case right here, maybe I have the ability on this case right here. He grabs onto my wrist, he starts pushing up against the elbow. He starts driving up, and I let myself go down to allow myself to come up and over. Maybe, but you can see how messy that is. Regardless, that's not the point. Point is, with fifth master dagger, when you're countering it, whether this is out or not, the moment I grab and he grabs onto my wrist, I want to bend this elbow. Because remember, this is coming. So I grab, he grabs his wrist, and as soon as he touches this, I've got to bend and lean into it because he's going to be popping right into it. Go. Which gives me that base point. If I don't do that, he's going to hyperextend me and take this from me. From this position here, I can draw, I can shoot, I can kick, I can do all sorts of things off this. If he's fiddle fucking with my arm, right there to the groin, right there to the face, stab him. That's the nasty truth about this play right here. It's not a, aha, I'm winning right here, because the reality is, he'll take my arm and break it apart if I don't do something off that immediately. These aren't like I've won the day. It is once again off of this. So here grabs, arm bent. Maybe I pull my dagger straight out. So I hit him in the dick with the pommel. He drops down, and then I can go in with this. All sorts of options. Or if the dagger's out, you have all sorts of plays off of this. But that right there is one of the big portions about this right here. It's a very simple play, but the commentary that's in there has a lot to do about what the type of situation may or may not be, okay? Again, there's a lot of psychology that's going on in his head. We've been talking about that for the past weeks on this right here. And there's a lot of psychology that's going in my head, and they're different. He doesn't want to die, and I want to stick him with the knife, or I want to rough him up, right? I might be like, hey, what's up? I'm here. Boom, 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 right? And that's where it kind of tells you how absolutely nasty this period of time of the world is, especially when you start talking about this device here. So that concludes what we have here as far as for fifth master dagger.
So you can see with the video that we're looking at, again, a moment in time where someone is trying to deploy that one piece on us. Now, ultimately here, this could be somebody's avvisamento that's kicking in here. This could be someone's practice right here. We don't necessarily know, training, etc. But regardless of this right here, the person in this case is representing much more of a, in my opinion, a savvy knifeman, a savvy assassin, a savvy armor, whatever the case may be here. Why are you deploying the dagger this way? It could be an armor fight. It could be an assassination in the streets. It could be a drunken brawl. It could be many different things that is happening out there. But regardless, this is somebody here that knows that by seizing this right here, the person's going to grab the wrist and is going to attack the elbow. If you know that, then you know you can reverse that by taking action against that. And that's what I believe that they're looking at right here, which is very incredibly important because you're talking about the options necessary and needed to be able to go through and torque and move the person's arm. This countering mechanism allows us not only to be able to gain access and control in there, but it actually kind of stops people here. So as you saw in the video, like there's plenty of times where, like, Connor's pushing on me because I'm using my bicep and everything else together here. I'm a lot more activated in being able to respond strongly off of any pushing that may be happening right here. Very nasty right here. And again, if we're talking about the dagger already being out in place, you already saw it's immediate response. It's immediate dagger. In here, boom. In here, boom. In here, boom. Really kind of nasty. And if the person starts to play with this and I don't have the dagger that's out, maybe I'm just grabbing the guy, whatever. Well, in that case right here, now we see how we can use that right here as the person's trying to fight with this time to draw and grab, because I'm not worried about breaking this in different directions here, which is going to hurt me. But as I showed, it doesn't necessarily mean it's one and done and easy, because I'm making this shape, I am prone to having my elbow pushed over. So remember that twisting thing. It doesn't mean that it's be easily won. A straight arm's easier because now it's all joint. Here, I have a huge lever and I can push down with all my latissimus dorsi, my pec and my back, everything right here. I can lean into this. But it doesn't mean that they can't push upwards right here to create that elbow pushing right here to get me to a lower lock and to really disrupt everything that's about me. Big thing about that right there. Fifth Master Dagger itself, this counter right here is very effective. And it actually kind of, in my opinion, adds a little bit of spice in training, because when you start doing this right here, you see how much you have to rely on other Abrazare and Dagger considerations to be able to counter that. So anyway, that's going to conclude this right here. And again, this is very, very, very much so just my look and interpretation about what this structure does for us and how it immediately shuts down things, but also is the gateway for both parties to find other opportunities from the mechanics within Abrazare. So with that being the case here, like I said, leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are here. Maybe you have other experience out there. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Love to hear your thoughts and considerations. Overall, like I said, very easy, very simple. Rephrase that. I'm sorry. It's very simple thing right there. But the complexity that comes out of it is never easy to be able to contend with somebody who's trying to fight for their arm here. When you have a dagger in hand, because that's placement. If you miss, it's a bad day for you too. So that becomes both ways. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking, subscribing, share with a friend. Love to hear what you have thoughts out there too. Maybe you're a person that's been practicing this. Maybe you're a person that does other martial arts. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please leave that in the comment below and consider sharing with a friend. But until next time, everybody, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your subscription. Looking forward to the next time of all this. And as always, please, until next time, be safe out there, train well, and fight on. I'll see you all soon.